Hello everyone, we are Group 11. Today we want to share with you the focus of our research, titled Environmental Consciousness and Sustainable Conservation Practice, a study of students at University Malaya. Let's start with a simple question. How much do we actually care about the environment, and how does that influence what we buy or how we consume? These are the key questions we are trying to answer in this study. As you know, the world's facing environmental challenges, and solving these issues isn't just up to governments. It's about how all of us act and consume how a daily basis. Small changes can make a huge difference, especially when it comes to making choices that reduce waste and conserve resources. Now, here at University Malaya, the campus has already taken big steps towards sustainability, from green campus plans to eco-friendly management policies. There is a lot happening, but one thing we don't know is this. Are these efforts truly shaping how students think about the environment and, more importantly, how they consume? Our study looks at three main questions. How much do students know and care about the environment? How common are green consumption habits like buying eco-friendly products? Is there a strong link between caring about the environment and the real behavior? Relatively, there are research objectives. And or we made a hypothesis for this study, which may or may not be relevant. Now, why focus on students? Because we are the leaders of tomorrow. The decisions we make will shape the directions. Studying our awareness and behaviors as students give us sights on how sustainable habits might evolve in the future. This research has a real-world value. The findings will help policymakers, university administrators, and sustainability advocates understand what works, what doesn't work, and how we can do more to empower people to make greener choices. Then I will hand over to my teammates who will dive deeper into the rest of the study.
All right, let's dive into the later review part of our study. First, let's make clear two key concepts we are focusing on. One is EC. EC is basically being aware of environmental problems, understanding them, caring about them, and wanting to do something to help. We are using a well-tested circle called the Revised New Ecology Paradigm. NEP is to measure this. Then this SCP for us. Since we are looking at students, this just means that the daily things they do that are good for our environment. We broke it down into three simple parts: cutting down waste, saving energy, and buying green products. Now, here's a big thing we noticed from other study. There's a common attitude behavior gap. That means a lot of people say they care about the environment, but they don't actually act on it in their daily consumption. That's actually what we are looking into. We also use the three main theories to back up our research. First, NEP. It helps us to figure out how students view the environment by comparing two different worldviews on where humans control nature, and one is where we need to do live sustainability. Then there's TPB, which explains how our attitude, what others think, and how much control we feel we have. Our effort, what we actually choose to do. And finally, the VBN, which is that our personal values play a big role in driving our environmental actions. As we looked through all the existing research, we found five big gaps that no one really filled it. First, no one's actually checked if own sustainability program are working on students. Does they make students more environmentally aware or change how they consume? Second, most studies are from Western country, and there's not much about Southeast Asia universities like ours. Third, a lot of studies treat sustainable consumption as one big thing instead of breaking it down into waste reduction, energy survival, and green buying. First, not only studies compare local and international students at do their cultural backgrounds make a difference in how they act? And fifth, past students in Malaysia often used small groups of people and didn't consider the things like income, which matters because sustainable products can be more expensive. So our study is going to fill those gaps. It's the first time everyone's really looked at postgraduate students' environmental awareness and their sustainable consumption habits altogether. The results won't just add to academic research. They'll also give UM's administrators real useful ideas to make their sustainability programs better and help UM stay a leader in campus sustainability in the region. That's all the lecture review part.
So for our methodology, the study adopts a quantitative correlational research design to examine the relationship between environmental consciousness and sustainable consumption practice among postgraduate students at the University of Malaya. So we use cross-sectional survey approach where the data is collected at one point in time using a structured questionnaire. This design is suitable because it allows us to statistically analyze the relationship between environmental consciousness and the consumption behavior of the students efficiently across the large populations. So the target of the populations for the study is postgraduate students that currently enrolled at the University of Malaya. And to ensure there's sufficient statistical power and improve the generalizability of the finding, the target sample size is 250 respondents. This already exceeds the minimum requirements suggested by Green's rule of thumbs for regressions analysis. And for the sampling, we apply a stratified random sampling method. So students will be grouped according to a faculty, and the participants will be then selected proportionally from each faculty to ensure there is a balanced representations across the different academic disciplines. And the data collections will be conducted online through Google Forms and distributed via faculty-based email networks and WhatsApp or Telegram group.
Now, turning to our operational design, we have categorized the postgraduate population across 5 strategic dimensions. We treat this not as background data, but as determinants of behavioral capacity. Income acts as our proxy for purchasing power, allowing us to tie the brain premium effect. Academic stream explores wider disciplinary literacy. Science, research, arts influences environmental values. Finally, by including nationality and study mood, we account for the diverse culture and lifestyle perspective within the campus. And To translate abstract consciousness into quantifiable data, we employ two validated instruments. For environmental consciousness, we utilize the revised NEP scale to assess worldviews on nature's limits and human growth. For sustainable consumption, we use localized PEBS, pro-environmental behavior scale, specifically adapted for UM's waste, energy, and purchasing scenarios. Both skills use a 5-point Likert system, ensuring the sensitivity required for our regression modeling. And our execution roadmap is defined by two pillars: data integrity and ethics. First, digitalization. We use Google Forms with strategic timing. Integration are sent via Sysone mail on Monday mornings to maximize response rates. And second, a rigorous cleaning. We automatically discard employee or rapid response entires to protect the validity of our unequal 250 samples. Finally, ethical safeguards participation is strictly voluntary and fully anonymous. No student IDs are collected, ensuring complete respondent protection. I will now pass the floor to my colleague for the analysis roadmap.
For data analysis, all collected responses will first be decoded and screened using SPS statistic and descriptive statistics such as frequency, percentage, means, and standard deviations. Standard deviations, will be used to identify the level of environmental consciousness and sustainable consumptions practiced among the respondents. And then Pearson correlations analysis will be also conducted to examine the strength and directions of the relationship between two variables. We also use simple linear regressions analysis because we want to determine whether the environmental consciousness significantly predicts the sustainable consumptions practice among postgraduate students. And the reliability testing will also be conducted using Cronbach alpha with the threshold value above 0.7 to ensure the consistency and reliability of the measurements instruments.